Welcome to 90 Seconds Plus, the New Year's edition. So, Happy New Year. Let's kick off. So, looking into the crystal ball for the next 12 months, Nobby, what's your thoughts?
Here's some predictions, and these are just my view of the world. Have a little bit of an understanding of some of them, not with others.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a ceremony to rename the airport, hopefully on the 19th of February, which is Tim's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, so I think that would be a really nice thing to do on his birthday.
Yep.
So looking forward to that. My take is that by March next year, we will know the future of Tiwai.
Yep. Right.
And the message that I've given to the players involved is our committee wants Tiwai to stay open.
Yep.
If it comes down to Tiwai or green hydrogen, it's Tiwai.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because of the jobs there and the history that's been here. So,
yep.
In an ideal world, we'll have both, and hopefully that will be the case going forward. Another prediction is I think over the next 12 months we'll see a booming in aquaculture in our community. So that'll be salmon farms and the Ocean Beach development. I think one of the areas that we really, really need to focus on next year and kickstart it is that Bluff needs to be a destination point for tourism.
Yes.
At the moment it's not. I jokingly say to people, where do you get a latte in Bluff? And they say you can get a coffee at the supermarket.
Yep.
And look, that's just not good enough. Yep. If we want people to go in there, we've got to get the Bluffies excited about them having some tourism.
Yep.
We've got ships coming one way. We've got the mountain bikers that can go there at the moment, but just go there, get the picture at the sign and then go back.
Because there's a bike track down there now, isn't there?
There is, yes. Karen and I bike there. It's about 60, 70 from where I live, return.
Yep.
So if you've got an e-bike, it's not hard work. The stuff that's on the Bluff Hill at the moment, which is they're starting the track up, the mountain bike tracks, will become really well known in New Zealand, and we will get people that come here. So another prediction is we need to do more on the accommodation side of it. And accommodation doesn't mean opening up motels and hotels. It means somewhere where the camper vans can park.
Yep.
Look, there's about 130,000 camper vans in New Zealand. Now, these are ones that are owned by Kiwis, not the ones that go around tourism. They are people like myself that have got bikes, got some disposable income, don't eat noodles for every meal, and want to go to places where they can get out. And a classic example of how you can boom a small town is Clyde in Central Otago. Dunstan Track comes in, that place had one shop with 2 or 3 bike mechanics in it, and now there's about 5 shops, and one shop alone's got about 30 staff. And it's huge, the business potential, and Bluff needs to engage that. So I've got to get councils that I've got involved with Bluff to get the Bluffies excited about that, and think more than just being a small isolated town that looks after its own needs. There's huge potential there.
Speaking of Bluff, I think out of all the media, we probably give Bluff the most coverage, probably thanks to Lindsay Beer and also Bluff Promotions. It was great this year to stream the Santa Parade down there, which I thought was really good. And the other best kept secret, I guess, if you get a chance, go and have a look at the Wartime Museum down at Bluff. It's amazing. Down there on Sunday for the was it the centenary of the Neptune?
Ship that went down the Second World War.
82 years ago.
It's stunning. That's the first time I've been there as well. It's remiss of me, but it's really interesting.
Oh, it was amazing.
But we've got to think smart about that too. And maybe that. Maybe I'm talking a little bit out of turn, but maybe we need to get that museum back up onto the main street somewhere. So you get the foot traffic coming.
Put a cafe a bit friendlier. It's not the welcomest entrance off the road. You know what I mean? It needs a bit of work there. But again, that's something maybe Great South could be helping work with. And apparently, there's the one out at Ripton as well. Again, a lot of people wouldn't know about it. Locals, little Wayne, the tourists, about these little gems of museums. So, any other things on your wish list for this coming year?
Sure. One of the big things is to promote the economic development in our region. And that's a very divided talk at the moment because each of the 3 councils have got their own wish list. I'm hoping that we'll be able to entice the district council to get some money out of the regional fund that Shane Jones is managing, and sort out the damaged bridges in the rural areas. There's about 120 of them. So that's a big thing. But I then want to get down some people around economic development, around space, and around aquaculture, and around RMA, which is the Resource Management Act, to make sure that we can get our aquaculture up and running, because with aquaculture also goes tourism. People are really interested. So if we would like to think that at the end of the year that we have tours going through the old Ocean Beach site. it's phenomenal what's inside there. They grow about, they will grow in the next year about half the whitebait that's taken from the rivers in New Zealand. So it is huge. You know, we're talking 60 and 70 tons of it.
Wow.
So it's massive. And they're growing power in there as well. So power is normally that big and takes 8 years to grow. They're growing what they call the champagne ones, which are that big and got nice purpley shells on it. You can actually eat the shells if you're brave enough. But the powers are really, really nice food.
Wow.
And again, we should be promoting that. And there's big dollars to be made in there. Never mind the tourism, which is the distillery that's going in down there, the gin distillery, and the cafe that looks out over the coast, which can be really rough. And potentially a salmon farm on land as opposed to the two that are offshore. So, I mean, I could talk all day about aquaculture. But the space technology stuff's huge as well. So we need ministers to come here and people. I had some meetings in Wellington last couple of weeks, and I said, look, we don't want money at this stage. What we want is we want you to free up the consenting so we can do what we need to do. We've got people that want to invest in those 3 salmon farms. Potentially 1,500 jobs between them. I mean, it's huge. Out of Bluff. I mean, what does it do to the Bluff economy?
Oh, totally. And then that flows on back to Invercargill.
What does it do for the families in Bluff that might be struggling at the moment? It opens up doors. Everybody talks about the green hydrogen, and I get excited about that as well, but that's still off on the horizon. And still a little bit uncertain about whether it'll come and how big it will be. But certainly aquaculture's got to be there. That's the future for us. That's the biggie.
It's interesting, the aquaculture thing. I've got a booklet to what was done back. There was a meeting, it must be about the 1980s, at the Calvin Hotel, where they addressed our Southland's economy. And aquaculture was banged on. Well, they were banging on about aquaculture back then. Along with that, they said that dairy would decline and sheep would be the main thing, whereas it's obviously changed. But
that's definitely not the case.
No.
I mean, if you look at what's happened with protein, eggs have died away a little bit because you can't do them in batteries anymore yet, so they've become expensive. Everybody talked about beef and sheep, and that's dwindled away. They talked about venison, and that's
right. Remember goats? Angora goats was the big thing back in the 80s too.
Dairy's big now, but that's very much dependent on China. And I'm picking will be dependent on the middle class of India in the future. I think that's the market that will grow the biggest in the next decade or so. But salmon is also big. Look, the demand in the world for salmon is huge. And so if we can get Ngāi Tahu over the line with their consent and have them run their salmon farm off Bluff, and Sanford's come in and run theirs off Stewart Island, and we get the investors that we've already got lined up to put one at Ocean Beach site, which is not the king salmon, which is what we grow in New Zealand. It's the North Atlantic stuff that they grow in Norway, and we've got backers that want to do that. We're heading in the right direction. We really are. We're trying really hard to do some work around housing. At one end, the night shelter type stuff for people that are sleeping rough is a need that we have to fill as council. We need to expand our aged care facilities so people that are older, getting a little bit beyond what Michael looks like at the moment, need to have a place to go as opposed to sitting in their traditional family homes where they can't afford to do the maintenance on the things, and they may have had a partner that's passed away. And so we've got to find a place for them so we free up more homes. I mean, look, I could get, I think, thousands of people to Invercargill by doing one simple advert. But I can't do it because I haven't got the houses to satisfy them. And the one simple advert would be to take some really high profile person, John Key or somebody of that status, I don't know, somebody's got a really high, Mike King, and say, look, here's Mike King, he works for the bank in Auckland, and here's his house, and this is how much money he makes, this is how much mortgage he's paying, and that's how much he's got left over the week. Now, I take Mike King and put him at the same bank in Invercargill, and he buys the same house down here, and this is his mortgage, and that's how much he's got left at the end of the week, and look how long it's taking him to pay off the Auckland house, and how long he's paying for the same house in Invercargill.
That's right.
And why would you not come and live here? Well, it's a little bit colder, but that's all it is. You can fly out of Queenstown, you can fly out of Christchurch, and the quality of life in Invercargill is so much better.
It is, especially because you've got so many things at our back door, whether it's out to Riverton, Bluff, or up to what is it?
You can drive across the city in 20 minutes. I go to work and about quarter of an hour go through one set of lights, never get stuck in traffic. Well, we won't talk about Stead Street, but But it is, and yet I've lived in Auckland, and the reverse is the case. High housing costs.
Yeah.
Takes you forever to go down. People say, "Oh, I go to watch the Warriors play, and then I'll go and watch something else play over here." Well, hang on, they're an hour and a half, 2 hours apart, and it's not as simple as that.
No.
So yeah, no, we could sell ourselves better, but the thing that holds us back is the volume and the quantity of the quality of the housing.
Yeah.
So we're doing some work in the next year. That's one of our targets going forward.
Yeah.
But very complex area to get players involved. But we're hoping we'll get some government support.
Well, just to finish off with a bit of humour, a lot of people think that our mayor's off his rocker. Well, we've got evidence today.
Could well be. Yeah.
It's 90 Seconds Plus New Year's edition. Hope you will have a happy New Year and a safe travelling while you're travelling around visiting family and friends. And here's to a fantastic 2024.
And the same from me. And while people say that I'm too well connected to what's on Invers, that's not true. I don't look like Mike at all. And I hope everybody comes back after Christmas refreshed and enjoys the quality of life that we've got in Invercargill. Cheers.